Peace, 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 family. I don't think this mic is even working. So can everybody hear me? All right, because I don't like using microphones, no way. So I would rather project. I'm Coach Robert Moore, and if y'all are okay with it, I'm going to start off with a quick little story. Y'all okay with that? So I'm going to tell y'all the story about a son and a story about a father. So as a son, he idolized his mother. She was his superhero because she worked 2 jobs, always seemed to have the things that we needed, and not a complaint. But he noticed that she'd suffered occasionally. He watched her battle with type 2 diabetes. So every morning, she'd have to do that little finger prick. We're talking about the 80s and 90s now, y'all. We ain't talking about these little monitors they got on your arm that's simple. We're talking about that finger prick. And watching her go from finger to finger, because each day, them fingers get sore with that little prick. Didn't think nothing of it. But then occasionally, well, not occasionally, eventually, his world was rocked because this superhero that he saw was laid up in the hospital with tubes coming out of her mouth and IVs in her arm. At 40 years old, she had multiple strokes. So to see this superwoman go from running the world to being dependent on somebody else shook him. Now let's fast forward. This man grows up. And before he's able to have his own children, this mother, this woman that he saw as a superhero, succumbs to breast cancer. All right. Wasn't easy. But now let's talk about the father, the story of a father. So as a father, watching a mother go through these things, he decided that he was not going to have that because this son didn't grow up with grandparents. They passed through health issues as well. So when he became a father, he made the decision that he was going to break that generational curse of bad health. So this is the story of a father who's helping you all build generational health. That's what I'm going to talk about today, all right? In generational health, there's 3 keys, but before we get there, because we are in this house, would you all, anybody had a house built before, seen a house built? Now, when you do that, let's say you get the best architect and the best builder to build your house, but then you give him subpar or shoddy building material. How long is that house going to stand? Not very long at all. So I want you all to think about this, especially where we're standing. You were designed and built by the master architect. We were built perfect. However, it's up to us to maintain the building that was built. And this is where generational health comes in, because you won't be able to maintain that building if you are giving it poor materials to rebuild with or to maintain it with. So that's where nutrition comes in. So there are 3 keys to generational health. There's actually 6, but we're going to talk about 3. And one, the main one being nutrition. So with generational health, you have to first build it. What is generational health? So let's talk about that. Generational health is what you pass on from one generation to the next. We talk about generational wealth all the time. We see how wealth passes from generation to generation. Well, in our community especially, we don't often have generational health. And I can be the example of that. I grew up without any of my grandparents. I was born in the 80s, y'all. This wasn't that long ago. I grew up without any of my grandparents. So think of how much knowledge was lost by me never meeting those people. So I vowed that I was going to break that generational curse. So generational health means that you're able to pass health on to the next generation so you can see them grow. And you can pass on the knowledge and information that you have. And in our community, we're losing that leaps and bounds because we have generations being raised by children. The elders are missing. And that's because the elders weren't given the information that I'm going to impart with you today. So the first key to generational health is to optimize your nutrition. Well, how do you do that? The first way that you do that is you have to eliminate the foods that are causing you bad health. Now, because we call this the vegan experience, you think the first thing going to come out of my mouth is meat as the first thing you need to eliminate. Unfortunately, it's not. The thing that you need to eliminate first are processed foods. Why is this? Because these foods have been denatured. They have taken all of the vitamins, all the minerals, all the nutrients out of it and just left you with the filler. so that you just get full up. Have you ever ate, got full, and then 10 minutes, 20 minutes later, you wonder, why am I hungry again? Because your body was looking for nutrients, not food. All right? So I'm going to try not to get sidetracked because I can get long-winded. So the first key to optimizing your health is to eliminate the foods that cause you problems. The first one being processed foods. The second on my list to eliminate is dairy, because dairy causes more inflammation than you ever want. And we got doctors that you can ask on the panel what inflammation does to your body and why it's important to get rid of it. I'm not going to do that. The third thing that you have to do is to now give your body the building blocks that it needs. And how do you do that? I'll give you 3 key areas. The first is to eat the rainbow. We have trichromatic, is the right word, vision. Animals don't. They have dichromatic, so they only see 2 colors. We see vibrant colors for a reason, because we are meant to eat a variety of colors, fruits, vegetables, things that have that. So that's number 1, is to eat the rainbow. If you're just eating greens, that's not enough. Yes, it's helpful, but you got to eat your purples, your oranges, your reds. That's where all of your vitamins, your phytonutrients, all of those. Second thing to optimize your nutrition. Nope, we're on the third thing now. Yep. See, this is why I keep my notes, but that's why I do better extemporaneously versus going from my notes, because otherwise I'd have been up here way too long. So the third thing that you want to do is to focus on the foods that will fill you. Because fruits and vegetables, how am I going to get full on fruits and vegetables, coach? Well, this is where grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds come in. Most people get too caught up on the macronutrients, protein, protein, carbs, and fats. But they don't focus on the micronutrients, your vitamins, your minerals, your phytonutrients. When you focus on eating your rainbow, getting your healthy grains, your nuts, your seeds, and your legumes, now you're going to give yourself all the building blocks that you need to shore up that house that the architect gave you. So that's my speech for you all today. Super quick and simple. And I'll take it a step further. So there are 6 pillars to health: detoxifying your life, optimizing your nutrition, optimizing your fitness, optimizing your hydration, getting quality sleep, and eliminating stress, because cortisol will take you out just as fast as anything else. If you all have any questions, see me on the side. I'm Coach Robert Moore. You can find me across any social media platform. I'm here to answer any questions. I am here to serve. Please use me. Thank y'all for y'all time.